guys, Meredith Gorman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
UFC Vegas 99, Hernandez versus Pereira. A fun main event I'm looking forward to. I'll break down this main event along with the main card. Like always, guys, systemsportscapping.com or link.me/systemcapping for client opportunities, records, client comments, resume, and more. Everything is over there. If you're watching on YouTube, please like the video. If you're listening via audio, which I do have a lot more listeners over there these days, please comment and share. It is much appreciated. UFC Vegas 98 recap. Let's do a recap for you guys. I have a little bit of a cold. Throat's a little fucked up, so I'm just saying. A nice card for clients. A nice 3-1 card. Bunch of winners given out on the pod as well. Hopefully you did tail like most people do each week. You know, a ton of value, plus 225 on Royval. If you're going to bet that fight from a side standpoint, you would play Royval. Close fight, right? Was able to steal the 5th round. He actually out-grappled Tiara, which Tiara was doing for most of the fight. We knew Royval would be the better striker, and it was very clear he was a better striker there. And then in the 5th round, he was able to use that cardio. We knew Royval had good cardio. He's shown it in the past. And he was able to win the fight in the 5th round. I was also on the over 3.5 rounds for clients at -120. We also hit on Rodriguez by decision. Nice hit there, plus 160, guys. Decision win for Rodriguez. We also had Grimbo as well. He dominated him. Good performance from him. Rock would be proud. Only loss on the card last week was Dawson. Dawson over 2.5 rounds. He finished Garcia for the first time in his career. I thought Garcia would be a little more durable, but Dawson was able to mount him. And that was probably the one concern. Obviously, we like Dawson to win the fight, but it's difficult to bet him at -400. We will continue the success in the UFC short and long term. It's been a great year. It's always every year, right? It's proven now. You know, I've been doing this for five years now. Proven long-term winner via the podcast and obviously client service as well. Continue year after year. 69% 2-fight parlays. That's 2023, 2024, guys. That's long-term. It's average line plus money. Keep this in mind. 28-10 pay-per-view run 2024. 75% is on the line next week. Over 84 units long-term, guys. Let's get right into this card. Not the greatest card. It's a UFC fight night. We understand this. But we have a fun main event that we can talk about. And I always mention, maybe tread lightly on these smaller cards. Right? Like I had 4 plays last week. That's kind of high for this type of a card. Usually I maybe don't have that many pay-per-view cards. I usually have more. These type of cards I try to limit myself. Maybe play more rounds over. Fight goes the distance. Hernandez -150 versus Pereira plus 120. Fun main event here, right? I love this matchup. This will be Pereira's first main event. 8-fight win streak. And he finally gets it. Here. The fight was supposed to be actually at the Sphere, guys. I don't know if you guys are aware. This fight was supposed to be at the Sphere. Right? Hernandez background Mexican. Makes sense, right? I don't know what really happened there, but it did not come through. So they gave these guys their first 5-round main event in the UFC. I love the matchup, right? Hernandez is also on a winning streak. I mentioned Pereira's 8. Hernandez is at 5. His most notable wins probably came out the last time against Kopylov. Kopylov was on a nice streak as well. And then Hernandez obviously just used that wrestling. He does have some other nice, decent wins on the streak as well. Shabazian's a nice little win there. Ferreira and Barreau as well. Toughest test yet will be Pereira, though. This will be his toughest test yet. And you can also say that for Pereira, right? I can't really say Pereira's been beating the much better guys during the streak. It's guys that he should beat, guys that kind of fit his mold, aren't trying to just, take him down and wrestle. We'll try to stand and bang with him. Best wins, Petrosky. Nice little win there. That's a guy that probably would try to wrestle. Ponzinibbio, nice little win as well there. And he does have 3 straight first-round finishes. That's something worth mentioning here, guys. So, yeah, I give Pereira the slight lean to the resume advantage, but it's not that big of a difference. None of these guys really beat, a big-time ranked guy yet. So that's definitely worth mentioning. Whoever wins this fight is going to have their best win on their resume. Either way, I see this fight to be somewhat close. Now, I know Pereira's been talking about, this fight's not going 5 rounds. I'm going to try to go out and finish it early, and he probably will. But the thing with Hernandez, he's very durable. Great cardio. Right? Even though, Hernandez, we've seen only 14 MMA fights in him. He's 12-2. But Pereira, we know a ton of losses, right? 11 losses, over 40 fights. I love the matchup here with Hernandez's chain wrestling versus Pereira's takedown defense. That's going to be the big thing to watch here, guys. Because that 94% takedowns from Pereira is some of the highest in the UFC. But not a lot of these fights, guys are trying to take him down. Right? Pereira also has a good sneaky submission game. Hernandez, though, one of the better submission games in this division. So I don't see Pereira submitting Hernandez. I definitely don't see that happening. Pereira's path will be to, try to catch him on the feet. Right? Hernandez is improving his striking. I'm going to have to say Pereira maybe is the better striker due to his versatility, his, unpredictability on the feet. He can be very difficult to predict on the feet, spinning elbows, flying knees, etc. So I think that's Pereira's path here would be by knockout, because I expect Hernandez to continue to chain wrestle and get this fight down to the ground at times. And we know when Hernandez gets down to the ground, he does throw those elbows. He does have that ground and pound. He does look for submissions. Right? So if this fight does get past, like I said, Pereira's 3 fight first round finishes, 3 fights in a row. We have seen him go 3 rounds before, but he does kind of, gas later into the fight. Hernandez doesn't. It's some of his best. This is one of his best attributes, right? His cardio, and he can continue to push, continue to chain wrestle if needed, and he has shown to be durable. I believe the 5 rounds favors Hernandez here. I think Pereira would need to get a earlier type of finish, and it's possible. He has the power. Doesn't translate as much maybe to 185. His fight's at 185, not 170. I like Pereira a little better at 170, I would say, but I know the cut is tough. That cut is tough. Pereira's a big boy. Pereira is a big boy, guys. Now, we have seen Hernandez finish once, guys. I do got to mention that, and it was against Kevin Holland. Similar style striker, right? Unpredictable. Will throw a bunch of stuff. So that's something Hernandez will have to watch out for. He's going to have to watch out for that power from Pereira. And Pereira will also come forward. Right? Both guys like to come forward and use different style game plans, sure. Hernandez like to maybe set up more his boxing to a takedown. That's what he likes to do. Pereira was coming with wild stuff, right? And Pereira can wrestle too, but I don't expect him to try to take down Hernandez. Hernandez can be sneaky with the submissions as well. I do believe Pereira wants to keep this fight standing, right? So we're going to see that 94% takedown defense, which I do think is inflated due to his matchups, versus Hernandez's high takedown abilities at over 6 takedowns per fight, guys. That's very high. Very high. So looking forward to this fight. Looking forward to this main event. Am I going to have a large action on it? No, I am going to lean Hernandez, though. Not too sure if this will make my betting card, client card this week. It's more of a lean on Hernandez. Pereira's unpredictability does scare me at times. His power does scare me at times. However, I think Hernandez should be able to get the takedowns here and be able to either finish him late or maybe win a decision. It's tough to call an outcome here. Both guys do kind of look to go for it. So, if Pereira we really haven't seen late in a fight. Of course, Hernandez haven't either, but we have seen him in the third round, and the cardio was never a concern. So, yeah, I'm going to lean Hernandez here. I would say maybe by some sort of finish, but I can't get there. The play is going to be more Hernandez. The price is, the price at minus 150. Shop around, you can probably even get better. You don't really need to, dig for an outcome here because the price is suitable. Cole-Main should be a fun one. Phillips minus 400 versus Font plus 300. Big price here. Interesting price here, right? I get it. Classic change of guard scenario, right? You're getting Phillips, a younger, upcoming, hungry fighter. You got Font, who lost, 4 of his last 5 fights, a little older now. I get it. Font has been there and done that. Fought some of the best guys in this division. We know that, right? He had a nice little run there a few years ago. Excellent striker, great jab, likes to keep the fight standing if he could. That's the big issue, if he could, right? 46% takedown defense, guys, for Rob Font. Just not good enough. And it's what's losing him fights, right? Phillips, I wouldn't say he's like a pure wrestler, but he's very well-rounded. He does average over 2 takedowns per fight, so I expect him to use that as the game plan here. Avoid trying to just strike and making it a super close fight and avoid that jab from Font, so take him down, right? I like Phillips. He's very well-rounded is what I like from him. He has some good wins too. Song Yadong's a good win. Munoz, Barcelos, however you want to say it. Right, Font, 4 of the last 5. I don't know how well, I don't know how much confidence he's having these days, right? It's very difficult to back Font here. Even though the price is great, I wouldn't call you guys crazy if you're betting Font for a small unit just for the hell of it because of the pricing. But I do believe Phillips get the job done, right? At minus 400, it's crazy. But if he sticks to the game plan of mixing it up, making an MMA fight, not just going out and boxing for 3 rounds, gets the takedowns, I think Phillips wins this fight. Right, the change of guard scenario here. My favorite play, I'll give it to you guys, probably over 2.5 rounds here. I don't see Phillips really finishing him. Font can take some punishment at times. Phillips not really known for like some 1 KO power on the feet. He likes to mix it up, make an MMA fight. So yeah, free play could be over 2.5 rounds in this fight. Probably will go the distance as well if you want to improve that price. But yeah, from a side standpoint, you got to play Phillips. Can you bet it at minus 400? I would say no. It's very difficult. And the outcome is very difficult here. I would lean more a decision his way. Johnson, minus 225 versus Sumajiri, plus 180. Big price on Johnson here. You don't see that. I wonder if he's ever been this highly priced before, right? We're starting to see it a little now, and we are starting to see Johnson fight a lot better. 3-fight win streak for him, right? Nice wins for Johnson as well. They're not easy wins. Van, last time out. Hadley as well as of late. Sue, he has lost back-to-back fights over older guys in Elliott and Schnell. All right, so it's a bit concerning there. A bit concerning for me too. Oh, I see plus 180. Can I get to it is the question over a surging Johnson. I just can't, right? I can't. I like Johnson. He's going to be the better striker here, faster. He can make in some wrestling as well. Johnson should be able to outstrike Sue in the volume category here. Be quicker on the feet. And Sue doesn't look to take down fighters, right? We knew at times before Johnson has improved his takedown defense, you could take Johnson down, but those guys that were taking him down were pure wrestlers, right? Sue doesn't do that. He doesn't wrestle, so I think the matchup is good here for Johnson. Interesting note here, Sue has been submitted 6 times, guys, in his career. 6 losses, 6 submissions. That is bad, right? 2021 has been the last time Johnson found a submission, but it's live here and maybe worth a shot if you can get a good price out there, right? I think Johnson will try to get this fight down to the ground maybe at some point, and that's where he can possibly find a submission. Doesn't look like Sue's improving that. He just wants to stand, bang, throw some heavy power shots. I get it. That's going to be his path to win this fight. Catch Johnson on the feet, but we know Johnson's durable. We know he can take a shot. So look for Johnson to get this fight maybe down to the ground. Is he going to find his submission? I don't know. He's not like a submission artist, right? He only has 3 in his total career, and he has a ton of fights. So, I'm not going to sit here and say he's a submission artist and he's going to get it for sure, but if you can get a good price, plus 400 or more, worth a shot for a smaller unit due to the 6 submission losses. That's some of the highest in the UFC, guys. You're not going to find a guy with 6 losses and 6 submissions. You're not going to find that often. So that's the play I would look at. I would play Johnson maybe in a 2-fight parlay. And, I would maybe look at a submission prop if you want to get a little more risky and, try to find some value there. Couple last fights here that I'll briefly go over, guys. Elkins plus 100 versus Pineda minus 125. Type of flip of a coin fight here. Two guys that like to take punishment is what I like to say in both these guys. Elkins, we know, obviously loves the punishment. His name is The Damage, and he's taken a lot over his career at 40, right? Pineda also, it seems like both these guys get cut a lot, and I expect both guys, if there was a bet, do either guy get cut? I would be betting that for sure. I would be betting yes, they do for sure. And, Pineda, the issue with him, even though I'm leaning him, not going to make my client card, but, Pineda, he has that cardio issue. When he gets in the second and third round, doesn't look great when it gets there. We know Elkins can, go 3 rounds if needed, push a decision, chain wrestle, try to wrestle, get the fight down to the ground. That could be his path here to win the fight. But Elkins likes to go in there and bang too, right? He doesn't just hold you down or hold you against the cage. He's not a boring style fighter, even though that would be his path here. Pineda does have a sneaky submission game, will be the much better boxer here. So if Pineda can keep the fight standing, I expect him to win the fight. This could be a sneaky, good, fun fight, guys, for the fans. Could be a fun style brawl if Elkins doesn't try to, just get the fight down to the ground and make it boring. I believe he doesn't. So I think Pineda will sneak it out on the feet, maybe hurt Elkins at some point on the feet. So lean's going to be Pineda here. Not a fight that I suggest, to have a ton of action on or a high unit bet on. But let's lean Pineda. Elkins 40 now. How much more damage can this guy take? Nikola plus 162 versus Almabayev minus 188. Fun flyweight fight here. Nikola's coming off back-to-back losses and both by KO, guys. The chin is an issue. He's been KO'd 4 times now. And when you're KO'd 4 times, I get, okay, I understand if it's like heavyweight or light heavyweight. This is the flyweight division, guys. Right? Not a lot of guys carry a ton of power. So it's a bit concerning here. Now, Almabayev doesn't have a ton of power. He's more of a wrestler-style submission artist. So, Nikola, I think the matchup actually is decent for Nikola. However, I like Almabayev. I'm fairly high on him, 3-0 to start his UFC career. I love backing fighters from Kazakhstan in this region. I just love it, right? How high can Nikola's confidence be right now coming off back-to-back finishes over Royval and Perez, guys that are not really known for knocking guys out. So that's a bit of concern here for me, guys, even though I think the stylistic matchup is decent for Nikola, because Nikola can grapple, and his takedown defense is very good at over 90%, guys. Right? So it's going to be a battle. Almabayev trying to take down Nikolai. That's going to be interesting here to see how that plays out. And, because of that and his takedown defense is fairly good, I can see this fight going over the 2.5 rounds or fight goes the distance. But Almabayev at minus 180, not a terrible price. I could get to that. Nikola, it's just the confidence has to be very low coming into this fight. I don't like it. I don't like that. And the chin is a question. And Almabayev, yes, he doesn't have power on the feet. Not known for knocking out guys. That's why I have a bit of a concern here. But I expect him to get takedowns at some point throughout this fight and possibly win this fight by decision. But I'd have to lean the fighter from Kazakhstan to get a victory here. That will do it, guys. That will do it. UFC Vegas 99 at the Apex. Yes, we don't like them at the Apex, but they continue to be there. We got a fun cards coming up, guys. UFC pay-per-view cards. They'll be back in Abu Dhabi. Got Max Holloway and Topuria coming up. Wow. Chimaev, Whitaker. Just some fun fights coming up. Can't wait to break those down, talk about those. I'll have big client cards for those events. Like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Enjoy this card.